Hello everyone, and welcome back. It is just me again, ready to share a story with you. I want to take you on a little trip down to the Space Coast in Florida, specifically to a place where history is made, quite literally, 1 inch at a time. I am talking about the Kennedy Space Center. If you're a fan of space, or just a fan of humans doing impossible things, you might want to pour yourself a second cup of coffee for this one. This story starts just a few days ago, on a Saturday morning, January 17th, 2026. Picture the scene. The sun is just starting to peek over the horizon in Florida. It is humid, there's that salty tang in the air, and standing tall against the sky is one of the most famous buildings in the world, the Vehicle Assembly Building, or the VAB. This building is so massive that the locals like to joke that rain clouds can form inside of it on a bad day. But on this particular Saturday, the focus was not on the building, it was on what was coming out of it. Slowly, those gigantic bay doors rolled open, and out emerged a monster, the Space Launch System rocket, topped with the Orion spacecraft. This is the Artemis II vehicle. Now, let me be clear, this is not a model, this is not a CGI graphic for a movie. This is the real deal. This is the actual machine that is going to carry 4 human beings, Reid Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, around the moon. But the part of this story I really want to focus on is not how fast this rocket will go when it launches. I want to talk about how incredibly slow it had to go to get to the starting line. To get this skyscraper of a rocket from the garage to the launch pad, NASA uses a vehicle called the Crawler Transporter 2. I want you to imagine a tank. Now, make that tank the size of a baseball infield. It weighs millions of pounds. It's basically a giant mechanical turtle. At 7:04 in the morning, this mechanical turtle started its engine. The distance from the VAB to Launch Pad 39B is only about 4 miles. If you're a runner, that's a nice, easy morning jog. You could probably finish it in 30 or 40 minutes without breaking a sweat. But for the Artemis II rocket, that 4-mile trip took nearly 12 hours. I'm serious. The top speed of this crawler, while carrying the rocket, is less than 1 mile per hour. You could literally walk your dog next to it, stop to tie your shoe, check your email, and you would still be ahead of it. So, why on earth do they move so slowly? Well, imagine you're carrying a tray of crystal wine glasses filled to the brim. Now imagine that tray costs billions of dollars, represents the hopes of the entire American space program, and thousands of people have spent years building it. You would walk pretty slowly, right? The crawler has to keep the rocket perfectly level. It doesn't matter if it's going up a hill or down a ramp, that rocket cannot tilt. The hydraulic systems are working overtime to keep everything straight. It's a high-stakes balancing act that lasts all day long. So, all through that Saturday, under the Florida sun, this procession crawled along. The sound is deafening. The crawler tracks crush the river rocks on the road, making a grinding noise you can feel in your chest. By the time the sun started to set, the rocket was still moving. As twilight hit, the floodlights on the launch pad turned on. And if you've never seen a rocket at night illuminated by spotlights against a dark sky, let me tell you, it is magical. It looks like something from the future waiting for its moment. Finally, at 6:42 in the evening, the crawler stopped. The rocket was officially at the pad, safe and sound.
Now you might be asking, why did they move it out there right now? They are getting ready for something NASA calls a wet dress rehearsal. I know it sounds like a fashion term, but in rocket science, wet means fuel. On February 2nd, the team is going to practice the entire launch countdown. They are going to load the rocket with over 700,000 gallons of super cold liquid hydrogen and oxygen. They will check all the pressures, all the temperatures, and the astronauts will even suit up and get in. They will take the countdown all the way down to nearly 0. and then stop. It is the ultimate practice run. If that goes well, in just a few weeks, maybe as soon as February 6th, they will light that candle for real, and we will watch humans leave Earth's orbit for the first time in over 50 years. It is exciting stuff. But let us go back to that 12-hour, 4-mile journey. I think there's something really beautiful about that slow crawl. In a world where we're obsessed with speed, fast internet, fast food, fast success, NASA reminds us that sometimes the most important movements are the slowest ones. So, how can we apply this to our own lives? I want you to think about that crawler transporter the next time you're feeling impatient with your own progress. Here's the lesson. Treat your life goals like a NASA mission. First, don't be afraid to move slowly. We often beat ourselves up because we're not promoted yet, or we haven't finished that book we're writing, or we haven't hit our fitness goals. We feel like we're crawling while everyone else is sprinting. But remember, the crawler moves at 1 mile per hour because the cargo is precious. Your dreams, your health, and your big projects are precious cargo. Rushing can lead to mistakes. Rushing can make you drop the tray. It's okay to go slow, as long as you're moving forward. Second, embrace the dress rehearsal. NASA doesn't just hope everything works on launch day, they practice it until it's boring. Before you have that big interview or that difficult conversation with a partner or that big presentation, rehearse it. And I don't mean just thinking about it. Actually do it. Simulate the pressure. The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. And finally, respect the rollout. We all focus on the launch, the moment of success, the confetti and the applause. But the 12-hour journey to get to the pad is just as important. That's the grind. That's the early mornings and the late nights. If you can learn to appreciate the slow, heavy lifting of getting yourself into position, the launch will be that much sweeter. So, that's the story from Florida. A giant rocket, a slow turtle, and a reminder that great things take time and care. If you have a moment today, go online and look up a picture of Artemis II on the pad at night. It is a sight to behold. Thank you so much for listening and letting me be a small part of your day. If you enjoyed this story, please share it with a friend who needs a little reminder to slow down and appreciate the journey. I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, keep moving forward, no matter the speed. Goodbye for now.